Welcome back to Lost in the Dark podcast, everyone. My name is Burton, and I will be your host, your guide through the darkness this evening. And on this episode, we are welcoming back a recent first timer. Of course, the Grimm artist himself, Mitch Radel, will be back on the show tonight, and I'm tremendously excited for y'all to hear this one. We go deep, real deep into some of his personal experiences, like basically he kind of brings us up to date on a story that is still sort of in progress, and it's absolutely incredible, and I cannot, from the bottom of my heart, can never ever thank him enough for being on the show, especially twice now, especially this soon, and for picking Lost in the Dark to tell this incredible, amazing story that I think, if more people hear it, will certainly help a lot of people. I know it's helped me in certain ways. So absolutely amazing guy, absolutely amazing story, and absolutely an amazing artist. He even on this episode gives us some sneak peeks and some upcoming glimpses into some of the artwork that he's been working on lately. So we go over some of that. We go over more of his story and his experience with what he's been going through in his life, especially dealing with mental health and things like that. It is absolutely incredible. Mitch is an incredible guy, and I can never, ever thank him enough for not only being on the show once, but now twice. He is a fucking Crypt Crew family member forever now. And as far as I'm concerned, this show is just as much his platform as it is mine, just the same as everybody else that's been on the show. Of course, links to all things the Grimm artist in the description below. Without further ado, my friends, join me, Crypt Crew, in welcoming back the Grimm artist. Horns up! Sweet, sweet, sweet. How you doing, buddy?
Well, still stuck in a damn hotel, man, but I'm surviving.
Real. Okay, so I know we're a couple minutes late, but like what how do you want to play this? Honestly, I could just like kind of start us off and then let you dive in. Because you said there was something specific that you wanted to go over tonight, right?
Yeah. Like I said, we're show the artwork, that too. And I also wanted, I guess, bring up this pretty much when I had to go without my psych meds for like 2 weeks.
That's right. Yes.
That's an interesting story.
Yes. Okay. So let me real quick. I'm gonna pull up our. There we go. Boom shakalaka. All right. So I have all of your artwork pulled up and ready to look at pretty much like right away.
Yeah.
And yeah, and we can just, I'll bring you back on and we'll just we'll get rolling and we'll see where it goes. Oh wait, actually, never mind. We are already recording. Fuck it. So I'll just cut all this out.
But I was wondering, I saw the recording sign and everything. So
yep, it's going. Hash. Sorry, the cat's freaking out. I don't know if you could hear that in the background. But all right, here we go. I just clap us in. Yeah. 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to the show, everybody, and we are back today with Mitch Radel. Of course, of the artwork, and you were just on the show before and everything, and I don't know if I said this last time or not, but I cannot help but pronounce your name like the old Saturday Night Live intro, Mitch Radel. Like, I can't help it, dude. It just fits it so perfectly. I love it. But what's been going on, man? Like, so we got it's been like what, maybe two 2 weeks since we talked last,
Yeah, I think so.
something like that, roughly. And
Yeah.
the episode, that episode is doing absolutely amazing. Um, and you've even in recent you've actually been one of the only one of the small handful of guests who like keeps in contact with me this much after the show, which I love. I absolutely love it. And you texted me the other day and you were like, I got an idea. I know what I want to call my fans. So you recently just came out with kind of something new with that, didn't you?
Yeah, I started calling them parasites,
Yeah. And what's that
which
kind of a
is
nod to?
yeah, exactly. And it's well, like I said, I kind of got the idea from how Slipknot calls their fans, maggots.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Um, which I absolutely love when you told me that, because I kind of did the same thing with the Lost in the Dark podcast.
Yeah,
I started calling everybody the Crypt Crew, which was a reference directly specifically to Children of Bodom and the Hate Crew, but also like some other things that I really like Sons of Anarchy, they were the Reaper Crew, which is
yeah.
also kind of a reference to Children of Bodom if you think about it.
That's an amazing show. I love that shit.
Oh, I love that show. It's one of my
I
favorite
binge
shows.
watched, I think, like 5 times.
Oh, dude, yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, dude. I love
It's
that. I
amazing.
love that show. Um, but did we talk much last time about like so why'd you go with why was it a reference to Slipknot? Like are they like how big are they for you?
They're huge, man. I mean, it's like I thought, I don't know if you've seen my the photography and the videos that I do, but I actually customize my own masks, and I got that
Well,
from Slipknot as well.
I was gonna well, yeah, I saw the photography and I used one of your images from your Facebook
Yeah,
as the thumbnail for the last episode. And I actually wanted to ask you, I was like, did you make that mask? Like what's the deal with that mask? Like,
honestly, well, hold. I could get you. I have the mask, and I can go grab it real quick. I mean, if you want to see it.
dude, yeah, I totally want to see it. Yeah,
Yeah,
for
sure.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah. But yeah,
yeah.
no, yeah, totally. This is insane because this is a great mask. Very much in the style of a Slipknot character.
All right. So, as you can see, that's my own mask.
And you
Um,
made this yourself.
Not necessarily made. I customized it, which means I bought it off of Amazon, and it was like one of those plain white, doll masks.
Oh wow.
Kind of what Joey Jordison had.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's especially in the
So
beginning. Yeah.
yeah. So I just kind of took, I'd say, put some like black duct tape, taped around the eyes, different layers of black duct tape, and I used like wiring to wrap around the mouth, area, and then I used pretty much red Sharpie, and then I used whiteout actually for the white, parts on it.
That's sick, dude. I mean, and that's
It
and
looks
that's the
way better
same.
when I edit it through
Well, I
through
mean,
the phone.
is that the same mask in all the pictures though?
Yeah,
You have
I
that
mean,
one? Okay.
I've done two other masks,
Okay.
and those are older ones. The first mask I did was when I very first created my Twisted Creations page, and it was like a paintball mask. And I spray painted that sucker up with nails into in the mouth. I did all kinds of shit to that one, and then the one after that was kind of like a Corey Teller looking
Yeah.
mask that I bought off of Amazon, as well.
Okay.
And but as soon as I have the money, I'm gonna get another mask to customize. It's I already picked one out, and it's gonna be badass once I'm able to put my shit onto it, stuff like that.
Are you familiar with the YouTube channel called House of Masks?
I think I might have saw that, like a glimpse of it
Okay.
on YouTube.
Yeah, no, I mean, I forget his name. I forget his name right now, but it's just one guy that does it, and he's like, I mean, he's got to be one of the biggest damn Slipknot fans in the world because, like, he like literally collects like stage used, like he has walls and
What?
walls of stage used masks, custom masks,
Uh,
and not just from Slipknot either, but
yeah,
mostly Slipknot. I mean, he had on some of the more recent episodes, he had Sid was in his, and it's just like he's got like a I don't know, it's not a store, but it's like a gallery,
that's not crazy.
just down in Ohio, like not too far from me. um and he does like an open house every year during like Halloween time and stuff like that. That's really
Nice.
cool. Like yeah, I highly recommend checking out that YouTube channel if you haven't, especially, or and for anybody out there that loves this stuff, because I don't know,
Yeah.
like personally for me, that was always a really huge thing. Like, I mean, shit, my favorite right here, my favorite fucking Goosebumps episode or book, The
I
Mask.
grew up with that shit too.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
Goosebumps.
yeah. Like I always loved that fucking story of like the mask like taking over and stuff like that. Like,
Yes. You know what? Have you seen that movie Clown?
no,
I think
it's just
Eli
called
Roth,
Clown.
something like that. I think so. Yeah, but no, it's like Eli Roth directed it. I got this all 40 horror movies and shit. This guy,
I remember one from back in the day called Clown's Attack.
no, it's not that one.
All right, all right.
No, this one, his son has like a birthday party, and the dad couldn't hire a clown for his, son's birthday, so he ends up finding this clown costume in this old trunk or whatever. He puts the clown costume on, and it slowly just turns him into this monster and shit. It's
Oh,
like it's
I
pretty
love
wild. He's trying to like get the nose off, and it's like bleeding. It's like it's crazy. Eli Roth
I'm gonna have to look at. Yeah, I love
did it.
Eli Roth, so yeah, I'm
Yeah,
definitely gonna have to look that up. No, I
yeah,
love. Yeah, I just love all that stuff. I mean, honestly, like before I got into metal in general, like the first arguably metal band that I was ever introduced to was Kiss. And so
yeah,
like them and their makeup, which is essentially a mask,
yeah,
um and all that, like the theatricality, the theatricality and the mystery
yeah,
uh of all of it is really what intrigued me from the beginning, you know. Uh so like I love it, you know. I love it when like today, like it's, and I will say we just since the last time we talked, a new Slipknot member and with
exactly.
and a new
Yep, I
mask.
saw that. Yeah,
Yeah. And and
they
and
don't know
and,
who it is or nothing.
and I fucking love that. I love in the day and age where everybody thinks that we know fucking everything. It's like,
Yeah,
no, someone can still pull this off in the like arguably one of the top three biggest heavy metal bands in the world on earth. And they can still pull off being anonymous just by putting on a mask.
they're, yeah, they're starting to get old too. They're still rocking. You know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
they're doing their shit. I mean, they're not as crazy as they used to be. When they first started out, but
No,
they're
no,
still on hell of a show.
no. But if they, if if today they were to ever play a venue as small as when they first started out,
Yeah,
I don't know if that building or those people would survive. Like, it would be madness. It would be madness. And yeah, I love that aspect of, heavy metal in general, and all this kind of art in general. It just it seems to people like us, it seems so gigantic, but yet you can kind of still be anonymous in it, in
yeah,
this like really interesting way. And it's such a cool thing. Uh the Necro look at Necrogoblicon, like,
yeah.
fun bands like that, yeah, Jerry, John Goblicon is hilarious. I love it. And I have no idea who that person is. I don't know if that's out there or not because I've never looked into it. I just want him to be a goblin. Like, like that's all I want. But that's fantastic. And no, your mask is definitely fucking when you do the new one, you're gonna have to hit me up and
Oh
we'll
yeah,
post it and everything.
definitely, definitely. I'm not very. I admit it, I'm not really that good with the masks yet, but I'm trying to. I don't know, improve.
No, well, I mean, all your
It's like,
artwork is so amazing, man.
well, when I have the mask on and I do the editing and stuff through the camera on the phone, it makes the mask more professional looking. So
I mean, with some, yeah, with some filters here or there or
yeah,
whatever, like, yeah, no, it looks fucking amazing. Like, it does look like a professional, like, I don't know, photo shoot, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. And you just did all that on your own?
yeah, pretty much. Like I said, I don't have the money for the expensive, equipment and stuff, because. But I mean, further down the line, it's like if I have the money for it, then yeah, I will get really expensive shit.
Well,
But right now, I just got the cell phone, and I have to pretty much go from there.
what you've done has been amazing. So,
Thank
like,
you.
and that's kind of the that's kind of the thing about us metalheads is like if you can make something really great basically off of the most basic tools that anybody has, that's kind of what we do. DIY till you die, like it's
Yeah,
kind of like our whole thing in a way. And it's such a like a beautiful aspect of art to me. Especially within the darker genres. Um so what's kind of what's the first thing you want to get? You want to go through some of the artwork first?
yeah, sure, of course, man.
All right.
Yeah, sounds good.
Well, here, let's do it. I'll pull them up right now so everybody can see it. Here we go. And I don't know where you want me to start. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it.
So
Pretty
where
much, I
would you
guess. Yeah, just start from the top.
start from the top? All right, we'll just go through from the top, and then I'm gonna hang on. I move the little window out of the way. Here we go. So the Grimm artist. So what is that thing?
It's like you never always ask that question. What is it? What is that thing? I don't fucking know. I just put it on paper and just kind of go with the flow. But
uh, I mean, it really is like okay.
I don't know.
Put
But
it
some
put it
people say it looks like an elephant, which it kind of does.
okay.
Uh,
Yeah, fine. Like a fucked up snuffleupagus, whatever. But no, but I mean honestly, like to me, part of what draws me personally to your artwork so heavily, hash. Sorry, cat screaming again. I don't know what the fuck's going but part of what draws me personally heavily to your artwork is like it's this crazy combination of it feels like whoever the fucker I can't remember whoever the fuck invented Cthulhu. But it's like kind of a cross between like Cthulhu and oh my god, I always get his name wrong. H.R. Geiger. That's the one that did the alien stuff.
yeah,
Yes. And
yeah,
it's like there's always like it always feels like there's an element of H.R. Geiger in there a little bit to me, which really draws me in because I'm a massive alien fan and stuff like that. Um and so like a lot like but there's also kind of a psychedelic element to it because you can kind of like see faces in its back and stuff like that. Like
yeah,
it really is. It's not as mechanical as Geiger, but like it is like as it is. I guess it is mechanical, just more in an organic way.
yeah.
Yeah, no. So I love everything you send me. I absolutely love. So what would you say about this one?
The same drawing.
Yeah. This one that we have up right now. Yeah.
Well,
Like, what was it for
like I
you?
said, what was that?
What is it for you? As the artist.
Well, I got a little bit inspiration for that one. It's I'd say, look, you know how some people get like writer's block.
Yes,
All right, well, every now and then I get artist block,
of course.
and it's
Yeah,
like
I mean, yeah.
I don't know what to put on paper sometimes, and so what I do is I get on Google, I just Google like dark horror artwork, and I just kind of browse through the artwork until something just pops up in my head, and then I'm able to put something down on paper. But most of the time, I don't need to go on Google to find something. Most of the time, I can just bring it out.
So what was the case for this one?
For this one, I would guess I was looking at a lot of I don't know really. When I got on Google to look up artwork, I saw a lot of that had like tentacles coming out of the mouth, and um, and I didn't want to copy like H.P. Lovecraft's kind of art.
Lovecraft. Thank
I,
you. That's the yeah. Thank you. All right.
yeah,
Yep. Yep.
I didn't want to copy his stuff. That's why I didn't do the whole like multiple tentacles out of the mouth. I just did one. And then eventually, the further I got into it, that's when I started realizing this thing was like a fucking elephant.
Very gothic. Yes. It's
Yeah.
and
So I'm
and
like, oh, okay.
I wouldn't call it a copy at all. I would call it inspired by,
Yeah,
and
there
that's
you go.
and that's ultimately what, like, that's the other thing about heavy fucking metal is like there's that, I think we talked about it. You've seen the documentary Metal Headbangers Journey, right?
Um, I don't know. I don't think I have.
Oh my god. Well, you that's my favorite documentary. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. You absolutely have to watch that movie. There's a great moment in it where they're talking to Rob Zombie, and he's like, I mean, he kind of like leans forward and he kind of is like, I mean, in reality, like every riff is already copied off Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
Like Black Sabbath wrote every riff and everybody is just copying off them. And so it's not, but is it a copy or is it inspired by, you know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
so and that's kind of what I see a lot of my favorite artists in
Yeah.
your work. And
Really.
yes, 100%, 100%. And it just fucking, like, even the fucking, like, the fingers, the hands, like that looks like a xenomorph hand almost a little bit
Yeah.
to me, or like a Wendigo, or like some kind of creature, you know. Um, and I think I asked you this at one point in text message. Can't remember what you said. Have you ever like thought about doing like a series of like your take on like a Bigfoot, a Mothman, a Dogman, a Chupacabra,
Yeah.
um, these cryptids that we have in the world. A Loch Ness
Oh,
monster.
you mean like do artwork based off those characters and stuff?
Yeah, like your take on
Yeah.
what they would look like.
That's a pretty good idea.
Yeah, like
Um,
I think that would be sick. Like, or even even just a demon, a zombie, a grim reaper, like
yeah.
stuff like that. These things that we have in our kind of zeitgeist. You
Yeah.
know. But yeah, no, this one. Does this one have a name? Does this have a? Is there a name to this thing? Do you ever
Well,
name
it
them?
depends. I do sometimes. It's like I'm not really good at the whole naming part of the artwork and stuff. Usually I'll put like a Grim artist creation, Grim artist mutation. I'll sometimes will add like schizophrenic nightmare, call that stuff like that.
Okay.
I try to throw in like some mentally ill kind of names to go with the drawings. Um,
Yes.
like the one I'm just recently working on. Still a work in progress, but it's a parasite, drawing. And again, I got on the internet to look up some inspiration of what kind of parasite I wanted to draw, and I was going through pictures of them on the web, and I came across fleas, like pictures of fleas and what they look like, and I'm like, this is gonna be a perfect parasite drawing right there. Because with the flea, I could do, I could put a lot of shit into it. I could really like twist it around to make it look really like puffed up. So that's one I'm currently working on.
So you literally, so what did you, for this one, for example, you already said you some of what you looked up. Was there anything else that you looked up for this one in particular? Like just to draw inspiration
Yeah.
from?
Um, like I said, I don't, that one was actually done, I think, like a couple months back. But
Okay.
yeah, like I said, I got on there. I was just googling, looking around for different artwork, and I saw, I think I saw the one. I got this one inspiration from. It was kind of like a needle that started from his mouth. It went like that, kind of like a fly or whatever. They had this like, I don't know what to call it, but it looked like something. This drawing had, it was like some kind of insect looking thing, and it was like a needle.
Yeah.
And so then I started, thinking about what I was going to draw. And at first, when I first, started that character, the mouth area, instead of making it look like an elephant trunk, at first I was trying to make it look like a needle
Okay.
on his mouth. But
Okay.
the more I started messing around with it, the more I decided to make that mouth look like an elephant's trunk, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. That's all right. Well, that's fantastic. I mean, I love the way it turned. I really do. I mean, and there's other, honestly, there's even other stuff that it
Yeah.
kind of reminds me of too. Uh Artist names that I can't fucking think of right now. But anyway, let's if you're okay, let's move on to the next one then.
All right.
All right. Oh my goodness.
That's my famous series, actually, Twisted Pets.
Okay.
And I've actually sold quite a bit of those, to people because they love the whole, Twisted Pets, how I made them look.
Yeah. Like, what is he holding, a scythe?
No, actually, they look like praying mantis looking arms that come up.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah,
right.
and then he has like the eyeballs on the shoulders. He has like multiple eyes on his head, and if you look close enough, you see I did piercing on his nose,
Oh yeah.
and
I
it's a
do see
rabbit.
that.
Yeah, it's a tweaked out, fucked up looking rabbit.
Yeah, it's like a spider praying mantis crossed with a rabbit.
Yeah, pretty much.
That is, I mean, it is it is really fucking cool. Like it's
You
I
got the
mean,
whole dread parts hanging on the side of his face.
yeah, where'd you like that reminds me, that right there reminds me of some like Geiger stuff.
Well, where I got actually it's pretty interesting when I got that idea from. It kind of goes back kind of far back to when I was about like 13, 14 years old. Well, when I first started, I was like 13, 14 years old. I was doing these kind of like a creepy looking uh, characters, kind of like a cartoon looking thing. And I got that I started doing those because I was inspired through Jonah Vasquez when he did Jonah Homicide Maniac comics. So I'm doing these cartoon characters that I'm bringing up, and I put a lot of like dreadlocks hanging from the character's head,
Okay.
and then from that idea, I started doing other horror stuff, and then those dreadlocks pretty much became like antennas,
Okay.
on their heads. And then from there, I started putting the dreadlocks on like on two of them on one side of his head, two of them on the other side of the head. And anyway, like I said, it pretty much originated from this idea that I was doing back when I was like 13 or 14 years old. And throughout the years, they just kind of like kind of just turned into different types of things. And we're
All
talking
right.
about the dread thing on his face. That's
Yeah,
yeah,
the thing coming out of his cheeks,
yeah,
kind of.
pretty much.
All right. All right. Well, that's fucking awesome. All right, let's go to the next one. Oh, so this one's more like
Another,
a mouse.
yep, another Twisted Pets.
See, God, that's like I don't know what I'm like. How old are you again?
31.
Okay, so we're damn near the
Yeah,
same age. I'm 33.
yeah.
Um, so you remember then like uh you probably remember like the machines from the 90s in the grocery stores where you'd get like a little thing, like for 25 cents, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Like
yeah, gumball machines. And,
yeah, like a gumball machine. Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
But you'd get
you
like a
have
little toy in it
yeah,
sometimes.
I remember those.
Like this shit makes me think of that sometimes
Yeah,
where it's like this is the kind of toy I would have gone for,
yeah,
at that age. This and it can't that's the other thing. As I'm a huge like I love comic books. I grew up on
yeah,
comic books, and a lot of your stuff reminds me of some of the comic artwork I've seen,
yeah.
whose artist names I could never remember in a million years. But uh some of that, it kind of reminds me of that too. It's really fucking awesome. Um anything significant, like a significant like thing you want to say about this one, like inspiration or anything?
Yeah, sure. I mean, well, see, Twisted Pets, I started doing those after I came up with this other, type of art. Well, they pretty much, Twisted Pets originated from Twisted Kids. Twisted
Okay.
Kids are pretty much, it's like they're cartoon characters, I guess, that reflect off mental health. And they're called Twisted Kids. And they look like they're teenagers, not really kids, or they're not really adults, or like teens.
Okay.
That's when then I started doing the Twisted Pets, and the Twisted Pets are actually more popular than the Twisted Kids. Because the
Okay.
Twisted Pets, I started doing multiple eyes. I started putting rib cages on them, and only throwing in one color. Like this mouse here, I
Yeah.
threw in blue.
I
The
just
one before that, the rabbit, I threw in red.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Why do you what I guess what do you mean by more popular, and why do you think that the pet line became more popular than the kids one?
Well, I got a lot more comments on the Twisted Pets, and Twisted Pet. I actually sold more Twisted Pets drawings than I did with the Twisted Kids.
Okay.
And the Twisted Pets, I probably sold the same amount of those that I do with the other horror stuff that I do. I mean, I sold
Okay.
some Twisted Kids, but not as much as the Twisted Pets stuff.
Fair enough. Yes. All right. See, that's interesting to me. All right. Right. Yeah. All right. Let's move on to the next one. Whoa.
That's an interesting one. That's actually based off this graphic novel idea they came up with a few years back. I don't know how to do graphic novels yet, but this will be probably the first graphic novel I want to do. Pretty much called from It Came from Space. It's pretty much based like in the 1950s, and it's going to be a gruesome horror. graphic novel series. His eyeballs, pretty much giant eyeballs, come crashing onto Earth. Then the eyeballs split open. All these eyeball-looking slugs start crawling out, and it goes. These eyeball slugs are going to people's ears and working their way into the brain, and they actually start taking over the human body. And then these people are slowly mutating into these eyeball creatures. They pretty much want to take over. And I want to make it extremely dark, violent, and then, like you said, it's going to have the whole 1950s horror thing put into it. And this particular drawing pretty much shows like a military. See, the jacket's kind of like a military style with the buckles and the pockets and stuff. And you could tell he like mutated into eyeball creature with the praying mantis arms, which is what I love to draw. Praying mantis arms on my creatures, and he had like two eyeballs coming out of the shirt.
Oh my God. That is such a good idea. Like that, I mean, it definitely reminds me of, shit, I can't remember. Like, I feel like wasn't there a movie called like They or something like that, where it was like alien, like, but it wasn't as dramatic, but it was like these aliens came to Earth and started like getting in people's heads, and like you couldn't tell who. So, God damn it, I'm so glad you just said that, because I was gonna say it's like a combination. Like, okay, so I think there was an old movie or Twilight Zone episode or something like that,
Yeah,
called They or Them or something. It was something like that, and where it was like that's right. It was a Twilight Zone episode, because the end of it was a big twist where like the main character was a kid, and at the end of the episode they discovered that their parents were already taken over, and that was like the big twist. Spoiler alert,
yeah,
everyone, for a 1950s Twilight Zone episode.
yeah.
But when you were describing the graphic novel to me, I was thinking of something like Slither and that
Yeah,
kind of imagery, that
yeah.
they used in that film, which I like that movie. That was a good one.
It was funny. It had some funny
It was fun,
moments.
definitely
Also,
fun.
the mayor was funny as shit.
Yeah, super creepy, super gross, but like
It
fun.
was funny.
Uh, so that's awesome. No, like, kind of Mars Taxi a little bit, even
Yeah,
like
I remember. Yeah, that was a good one.
it's very cool, very cool. All right, let's check out the next one. Okay, what's going on here?
That's like, I don't know. It's like when I do artwork. Okay, some of the drawings I like to do a lot of mutating type of stuff into it.
So it's
So
kind
I
of
pretty
like in
much,
the process.
yeah. You see
Okay.
the whole. You see right there below the rib cage. You see a human heart,
Yes.
and
Oh
then
yeah.
yeah, it's a human heart. Again,
It's
I had to get on the internet and look up some scientific pictures of human hearts and stuff.
sure
So
with the
I
valves coming out and everything. Yeah.
yeah.
And then, so what's it doing then? Is it evolving? Is it an evolution image?
It's just like I said, it's just something I kind of put on the paper and wanted to add more and more stuff to it.
So you started at the heart part and just everything else came out of it?
No, actually, I always started from the head and
Oh,
then work my way
okay.
out. Yeah,
Okay. All
all of
right.
my drawings start off with the circle. So
The circle.
yeah,
God, the eyes are so creepy. All right. We'll go to the next one. Ah,
another
okay.
it came from space drawing. Yeah.
It came from okay, so it came from space is another line that you've done?
Um, no, like I said, I haven't really written down a story to go with it.
Well,
At
but
this
no, no,
point, it's just a
just
thought I got in my head.
a series of artwork that you've
Drawings. Yeah.
titled, like the pets and the kids thing. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. That's all it is right now. But eventually, I want to turn it into a graphic novel series.
Yes. I
And
mean,
I'm pretty much
this
just kind of drawing different type of alien creatures, kind of like practicing, getting prepared to put it into a graphic novel.
and this 100% works for a graphic novel. This 100%, like I was actually showing some of my coworkers your artwork, and they were like, I would get that tattooed on me. Like this is good tattoo stuff as well. It's absolutely amazing. Um, ooh, that's kind of, oh my God, I like that a lot. That's kind of like got a Grim Reapery vibe to it.
Yeah, kind of like also kind of like I would say, a creepy version of Atlantis. A creepy,
Oh,
creepy monster from Atlantis. So yeah,
yes, dude, yes, that's fucking gnarly. Yeah, with like the
and
spikes coming off his head and everything. Like that
uh,
is, yeah, that's like a, oh, I like that one a lot.
I always like to put the moon like in the corners of a lot of my drawings. And I like to make the moon look like all deranged, mutated. Also, I like to put multiple eyes on the moon. Make it look like the mouth is all stitched up.
That's fantastic. Yeah, like that. I feel like that right there could be a character on its own all day, especially in a graphic novel. Um, we got this. Whoa, all right.
Yeah, I
This is
mean,
another
I
kind of
actually did that
mantisy
one
one.
probably about 3 or 4 months ago.
All right, all
Yeah,
right.
it's again you can tell you have praying mantis arms on him. He's got that dread thing
Crossed.
going from the side of his head.
Yeah,
I and if you look close on the praying mantis arms, I made like part of it look all stitched up, and I threw a clown nose on his face because I thought that would look kind of make it look interesting.
yeah.
And then of course if you look at the chest area, it's the rib cage for the chest, which I do that a lot. A lot of my drawings as well.
I just love like I love the combination of the exposed rib cage, but with like the tubes coming out of it. Like that's such an interesting design that I've never really like. I've never seen that before. It's so cool. All right. On to the next. Because I'm trying to get us moving here because we get just for the listeners, we did get started a little later than we anticipated, so we are trying to kind of move a little bit. But oh, this is like this is kind of more Android. Like
Yeah,
within
yeah,
your style,
yeah.
this is like a robot looking thing to me.
Yeah, I put a lot of eyeballs and shit like on the back.
But it's like that's like a shoulder thing that the predator would wear.
I have a
And
thing for eyeballs, so
clearly. And what's
oh
what
yeah,
okay, and so I noticed now in a few of them, they just have two big old like fingers on their hands.
yeah,
Like that's
yeah.
all it is. That's not praying mantisy. Where does that come from? Like, did anything inspire you to like kind of like go that route with a lot of these, or was it just something that you thought of on your own?
Um, I would say yeah, kind of a lot. Started it on my own. Yeah. Um, yeah. I really got into doing the whole now the hands how the hands only have 2 fingers, and it's like I kind of got into that style because back when I was like starting to do the horror stuff, like 2019, 2020, I uh I had trouble doing like the whole actual hand with all the fingers on it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like so I kind of just only did 2 fingers because to me that was easier for me to do, and I guess it stuck with me. So I instead of doing hands with thumbs and the other 2 fingers, I kind of just went with the whole 2 finger.
And I love how they're kind of webbed.
Yeah.
Like they're kind of webbed. And what I also love about this one is how humanoid you made the face look like with that nose and the eyes in that position. Like it's kind of more humanoid than a
Yeah,
lot of the other ones that you've shown us tonight.
yeah.
That is like it's kind of a weird cross between like a predator, a terminator, and a kaiju. Like that is really really cool. I do love the external like rib cage stuff. Like
Well,
it
I
was
don't know if also if you notice with a lot of the drawings that I do, like see, he's not really sitting on it. The bottom of his body is infused into the rest of the paper. I actually do that quite a bit with a
yeah.
lot of
Oh, and it makes the image just really interesting to constantly look at because like it's one of those things where you kind of feel like you look at it and every time you look at it you see something new,
yeah.
which I absolutely adore that. But all right, so on to the oh shit, on to the next one if I can get it. There we go. Oh, oh. So this one's like a little bit like a
That's my most recent. That's my most recent piece right there.
this is the most recent one you've done.
Yeah, so far.
So this to me, okay, with that thing coming off its head, it reminds me of those like super creepy fish that have the
Yeah,
light on its head.
yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yep.
Yeah. But it's got the wings like a firefly.
Yeah.
So where oh ooh, and I actually really like the moon in this one. That one's really cool. So where any specific inspiration that came from this one?
Um. Well, that one I don't think that one I didn't look off. Off of the internet or something. I didn't get on the internet and to figure out how I was gonna do this one. That one I just kind of sat there and just spilled it out on from my head onto paper. And I mean, I've done like some kind of similar drawings like that before, where it literally looks like a bird's head with the beak and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So I like doing that. I like combining different types of species and putting them into different stuff. It's like I guess it's kind of like a bird with the insect wings put onto them. And if you notice, I decided to do one leg instead of two. And a lot of when it comes to my artwork, and this is actually kind of my own signature sign, is when you take both of the arms and you crisscross them. It makes them look more creepy that way. And the reason why I like to do the eyeballs like pure white with a bunch of shading around them, because it shows emptiness, like mental health wise emptiness.
Yes.
And that's why I like to do make them have no pupils, just white with like dark and around the eyes.
Ah, yeah. I mean, does this one have a name?
Ah, man.
Not
Well,
really.
if you want to see the names and stuff, you can always go to the Twisted Creation page, and when I post, the art,
Which
the drawings, I always give a little short message to go with it, and I, usually name them. I just don't, remember.
fair enough. Fair enough. Which in fairness, everyone, that link will be in the description below. So you can all check that out. Uh this is phenomenal. And I think this is basically the last one.
Yeah,
Um,
it's the last one.
and this is very praying mantisy. Because this one even
Yeah, if
has
you
kind of
notice,
like a more of a bottom than the others.
well, if you noticed, I
Not
kind
like
of
a
approached,
booty, but a bottom.
well, I approached the chest area differently. Instead of putting the actual rib cage in there, you can tell that it's
It's
like the middle section of the rib cage is like, torn out. So you just got the
oh,
rib cage is coming from
oh,
the side. And
oh, okay.
look,
Now I
if you look
see it
inside, if you look closely at the chest, there's a giant eyeball just sitting there
right by
inside the
the
rib cage, lies inside the body.
yeah, right
So
by like
kind of had
the
that idea.
hand thing, the hand sight. Wow. I mean, no, this one like this does look like something that could have been in Slither, honestly. Like
Yeah.
that's
Again,
awesome.
I gotta think with insects, and eyeballs and just shit like that.
Hell yeah. Ah, that's be absolutely beautiful. What was the what made you go with the mushroom in the bottom?
Oh, it's like I don't know. I throw in a lot of mushrooms with a lot of the artwork and
Okay.
stuff. And it's like sometimes I like to do the artwork and I'll put like leaves growing out of them, mushrooms growing out of them, that type of stuff. So
Okay.
I've
So
always like
kind of
someone
demonstrating
wants
that they're of
to
nature.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you want me to go into like these upcoming ones still?
Yeah, there's one upcoming one,
All
and
right.
that's the Parasite one that I've been working on.
This one?
Yeah, that's like one that I started it like last night, actually.
Wow.
And it's like I said, it's like a flea kind of drawing,
It
But
is.
again, I'm just doing my own thing with it. I'm like making it more creepier, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
shit. Again, I threw in the praying mantis arms.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
So this is so this is where it started then. So we kind of
Yes.
all right, I see what's going on here. So we're just kind of going in the reverse direction, but oh wow. All right. Well, fantastic. And again, like all this stuff, I mean, links to all of this is in the description below. Um, all your pages, everything, where everybody can see everything.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm certain. I know I asked you this last time.
It's not a good day to be a bad guy.
What's up, metalheads? This is Wayne,
And Michelle.
and we are from the Michigan UFO Sightings and Paranormal Encounters podcast, and you are listening to
Burton and Aaron on the Lost in the Dark podcast.
Raise your horns.
But like where can people find your artwork with like have you ever done cover art for metal bands and stuff like that? Promote that again.
Yeah, I've done three so
Would,
far. All
would,
three underground metal bands.
and do you remember the band names?
Yeah, sure. One was called Arcane Enemy. The other one was the Brotherhood Grimm. And the last one was Dark Shredsurdo, I think is how you pronounce it. I told you about him before. He's the guy that's
Yeah.
a Christian. He does what do you call it? Instrumental work, just like
Yes,
guitar.
yes.
And this guy can play so freaking fast, man. It's insane.
That's awesome.
He's called the Dark Shredsurdo for a reason because he shreds that guitar like really fast. And
Hell
he has
yeah.
a collection. He has a collection of electric guitars.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
do. So yeah, all the three album covers I did for them. That was back when I was only doing pencil.
Oh
But
wow.
before
So it
that,
was a
so
while ago for
I'm
you.
really trying to get a hold of like just underground metal bands or metal bands just wants a good piece of artwork that would help promote them as
Yeah.
well.
Totally. Totally.
And it's like I always work around their budget too. I charge a good price and I'll work around their budget.
Well, I can definitely send some people your way, and I certainly will.
Awesome.
And everybody that sees this, be sure to hit him up for any. Actually, there's one band in particular that your stuff would be perfect for. I'm definitely gonna send them your stuff. A local band up here in Lansing called Recorruptor. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. Lansing, up here in Lansing, Michigan. But they kind of do. It's not really like the same total style, but your style would totally work for them in a big bad way. That would be amazing. But yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna try to send some people your way. But having said all that, having seen all that is amazing, amazing fucking artwork, which like. And for the record, the day that you release a graphic novel, I'm gonna be one of the first people to buy it. Like I would love that. Like
Well,
such a
I
huge
do have
comic
some good
fan.
news about that, actually, about the whole graphic novel thing.
Yeah.
My business manager that I am working with, he's going to get me into doing comics and
Yes.
stuff. He
Yes.
actually sells. He just created another business, and he's actually selling comic books online now.
Oh my god. Yes.
So I would get me into comics so I can learn how to do them properly. I even got this comic book. Well, it's a book that shows you the comics and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Half of the book is our instructions showing you how to do different characters. The other half is like pretty much it's like like a comic book, but there's no drawings in the squares. You fill in.
Okay.
Pretty
Ooh.
much. So I would have to take what do you call it? A ruler, and do my own little squares because they're already printed
Right.
onto the paper. I just got to fill them in with my own shit.
Dude, that's amazing.
So
I would love. Yeah. No, I would purchase any of your comics.
Because he has quite a few businesses that he does. He's busy, but he's going to get me into doing the whole comic.
That's sick.
Shit, so
That's fantastic. I'm very excited for that. Please keep us posted on that because I would love to get a comic book with your artwork in it. That would be amazing to me. That would mean the world to me. But before we get out of here, let's get into what we wanted to talk about. Main thing we wanted to talk about tonight. If you want to kind of introduce it and kind of go down the rabbit hole a little bit.
Sure, man. Of course. So this is a certain part that happened in my life, and it was a very traumatizing, thing that happened,
Mm-hmm.
and it was, let's say, it was back in 2019, in around January. So I was I was switching my insurance, right, from my parents' name under my name. I was 27, and so what happened was the stupid fucking. First of all, the insurance was Medi-Cal, and in California, Medi-Cal is for the poor people.
Okay, so in Michigan we have Medicaid.
So yeah, what happened? There's shitty insurance, but so what happened was I went down to that office, switched it. My insurance, my parents' name's under mine, and they made some fucked up typo in the system. They pretty much made it to where my insurance was invalid for 2 weeks, which means and I have schizophrenia with bipolar disorder. Yep. So I couldn't get any treatment whatsoever for 2 weeks. I had to literally battle this shit out until my insurance was valid so I could get treatment.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I remember, I first started going without the meds. Now, when it comes to the clozapine, which treats schizophrenia, you first go through what's called withdrawals from the meds, which can cause you to have sick stomach, hot and cold sweats. You can my dreams get very realistic. Mm-hmm. So, plus without the clozapine, my appetite is zero.
And
I don't eat.
Yeah.
So that's so at first night the minor withdrawals. About third, fourth night, shit got really bad. I'm talking, man. I would wake up in the morning, run to the fucking toilet, and just puke from withdrawals. So after the withdrawal part was done with, that's when the psychological shit kicked in. I'm talking. I was hearing
and how many? Wait, Real quick, real quick. How many days was the withdrawal thing?
That lasted, I'd say, about 4 to 5 days.
Okay.
Because what happens is when the medication go, gets out of your bloodstream, and
Okay.
so the longer without it, the more it's going out of your bloodstream.
Yep.
So anyway, so yeah, I was hearing voices in my head. It's like, but the further it got into those 2 weeks, man, it's like it was like a blur. I didn't really remember shit, and I almost went into catatonic schizophrenia. But for those who don't know what the catatonic schizophrenia is, it's pretty much when you're just gone in your head. You like completely slip out of reality, just go into your own world, and it's like, to me, it's kind of like in a coma, in a way. So that always happened to me. I mean, it's like I remember literally laying on the ground. My mom had to make sure I was looking into her eyes and make sure I was looking at her, and she made sure I was talking, so I didn't like slip out, you know.
My God.
And it was bad, dude. It's like dreams were so real. When I woke up, I didn't know if I was in a dream or not. And like I said, the further I got into that shit, man, the more I just like, it's like a blur. I didn't remember much of it. And it was bad. I was having hallucinations, delusions, all kinds of shit. And so finally, when my insurance was valid, so I got the meds. But at that point, I was without the meds for so long that it was going to take a while for them to get back in my system again.
Right.
So I was still kind of fucked up in the head. So I self-admitted myself into psychiatric hospital, and it was a bad one. It's not good funding, which means shitty psychiatrists. And I was in there for 4 days. They didn't really treat my psychological part, but they fed me food because, man, I dropped over 20 pounds within those 2 weeks. I'm talking my rib cage was showing, my collarbones popping out, and my blood sugar was so low to the point where I couldn't even open up a package of peanut butter, in the hospital and shit. So technically, now my mom, see, she was calling the fucking the insurance people and stuff, and they were dodging the phone calls, and I mean, we called 911, ambulance, anybody trying to get help. I mean, my mom, we went to the doctor's office to see if they help me. And I remember we're on our way back home. I had an episode in the car. I'm like freaking out. My mom pulls over, dials, he gets an ambulance coming. My mom is literally has to wave down the ambulance to come over. They load me up in the gurney. I'm like saying all this weird shit that doesn't make sense. And fucking they get me into the hospital. They hook up these wires to me to make sure my heart, all that stuff was okay. And when they found out that I didn't have insurance, they fucking just kicked me out. I had to leave. And that's how bad the whole shit is, how it's like in California.
Isn't that illegal? I thought that was illegal.
Yeah, it's illegal. Yeah.
Right.
It's like, that's how it works in California, man. You got no insurance, you got no money to pay for the treatment, you cannot get help. I mean, I've been to the emergency room before in California, and those fuckers are like, they would get mad at me if I'm like freaking out. They would say, one lady told me, she's like, hey, you got to calm down or we're going to have you admitted. It's like, I need my freaking meds, man. Don't like tell me you're going to get me admitted. And I'm like, yeah. But anyway, like I said, because I went to the psychiatric hospital, because it didn't really do anything mentally for me, I had to go home and kind of pretty much had to do a psychological recovery that almost took a year and shit. I was so fucking skinny, it was insane. I could easily die, but I did it.
Just simply by getting refused treatment because you didn't have insurance.
Yeah. Now here in Texas, they would have done something for me.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask. Have you experienced because I kind like I'm, it absolutely, it absolutely breaks my fucking heart. But like,
Yeah,
I've heard stories like this from more places than just California, from
yeah,
Michigan, even like where it's just like, you're gonna turn me like what? I thought like the whatever happened to the Hippocratic Oath, like you know what I
yeah,
mean, like
yeah,
uh and it's just so, but so then you have experienced better care
yeah.
than you did
Here,
during your time in Cali.
oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I still got some PTSD issues from going to that.
I
Of
understand.
like thinking about like if I'm not going to go without the medication. It's like my heart starts racing. I start breathing heavy, and it's like insane. I mean, but no, it's just like I said, California's all fucked up, man.
It
It's
really
like
is,
that's
dude.
it's like come here and you get good treatment.
Fair. Yeah. No, that's and by there you mean Texas, and I always forget like so what time, it's 8:18 for you right now.
Yeah, I'm 1 hour behind you, I
Behind
think.
me, yeah,
Yeah,
so it
yeah,
just fucking, it blows my mind that like I always thought all of Texas was like 2 to 3 hours behind Michigan. It's crazy to me that like there's a part of it that's, but I know a band. I'm friends with a band from Texas called Scream at the Sky.
yeah.
Fantastic band. Who like they've talked to me a lot on the show before, and
Oh, really?
they're yeah, and they're I think they're where they're based out of, at least, is just an hour behind Michigan. Every time I talk to them, it blows. I'm like, you're all the way in fucking Texas and you're only an hour, like it takes me exactly 3 hours to get into the next time zone, and that's from the middle of
Yeah.
Michigan to Chicago. That's where the line is, pretty much. And it's just crazy to me that Texas is, I've never been there, so it's just like it's that big that it just takes up that
Yeah.
big of a chunk of the bottom of the country. Like, that's
But I think
wild to me.
Texas and California are like the two most biggest states that we
Oh
got.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Alaska.
Texas is huge.
Alaska's bigger than all of them, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
dude. Oh, yeah. Alaska's. I could be wrong. Okay, everybody. I'm just an idiot metalhead, but I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that Alaska's, like, if you were to superimpose an accurate image of it over the United States, it takes up like almost half of the United States,
Yeah.
or the lower 48. The lower 48, I guess, is what I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it absolutely blows my mind. But I'm very happy. I'm very happy to hear that you were able to find better care. How did you, um, was it family that brought you from California to Texas? Like, how did you end up going
Um.
from one place to another?
Man, we no, we had a okay. We used to live off the grid in the middle of nowhere out there in California. It's a small town called Lucerne Valley,
Cool.
and
Oh yeah.
what happened was we couldn't keep up with our property taxes.
Wow,
So we
they're
lost the
crazy.
house,
That yeah.
which sucked because the house was like it was a huge, huge house. It was off the grid. We had 10 acres of land, and we lost it because we couldn't keep up with the property taxes.
Bullshit.
So
But
what
all right.
happened was we moved out of that. We had to leave the house. We were living in like a hotel, my mom, a little while, and we were like our church couldn't really pay for our hotel stay.
Okay.
What we did was we were thinking, oh, what's gonna happen to us? It's like either we
Yeah.
be homeless in California or homeless in Texas for a little bit. Being homeless in California is really bad because the resources they don't have that Texas
Really bad.
has. Yeah, Texas has good resources. So we kind of took the leap of faith, man. Me and my mom got on a plane. We came out here. We had a friend who was supposed to be picking us up from the airport. He didn't show, so we ended up sleeping in the airport that first night. We got out. the airport. I think we were there for like 2 days in a hotel. This is here in Texas, which was actually in Austin, Texas.
Okay.
So we couldn't afford like a hotel. We were out here in Texas, so me and my mom, we were homeless in the streets for 3 days. Uh, one of those days, we actually were homeless under a bridge with three other homeless people. And I think the first 2 nights that we were homeless, we were sleeping in like kind of like a grass area outside of college, a safe area, and it started raining. So we were trying to get shelter from the rain, and we ended up having to literally sleep in the rain, and it was windy. It was bad. So what happened from there? A good friend of mine that I actually sold her some artwork like back when I was still living in California, and she lives here in Texas. She saw my post on Facebook about I'm being homeless, and she actually she came out, picked us up, and we stayed with her for a little while, and we moved in with her October last year up till March this year, and now our church here is paying for our hotel stay, so we're able to get into an apartment.
Oh my God. So we're not, this story hasn't even finished yet. We're still in the middle of it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That's and through all of this, you're still doing this artwork. Like it's beautiful. Like to me, it's absolutely beautiful art. Like it's something when I look at it, it makes me happy. You know what I mean? I see this, I'm like, that is some of the coolest shit I've ever seen. Like, it makes me excited. It makes me happy. The people, my friends, my coworkers that I've shown it to, they're like, I would get that tattooed on me. Like, everybody I've shown your stuff to, it brings them joy. So it's
well, that's what I'm working towards with the artwork. I want to just make people happy by looking at it and stuff, and I want to just send the message out that it's okay to have mental illness. You don't have to be ashamed of it. If you want to be open with it, be open with it. You don't be afraid to do that, And there's healthy ways of coping with mental illnesses. It's like, even if you just say, oh, I don't want to get treatment, it's your decision. I respect that 100%. You could still do artwork if you want to, as a coping skill, or music, or anything that makes you a happy person, to where you won't have to go to the drugs, the alcoholism, and just making your life worse. You find something that makes you happy, and you use that as a coping skill to pretty much make you a happy person.
Exactly. Like I mean, for me, there was a long period in my life where I was in when I was in college, I was doing a lot of philosophy classes and psychology classes and things like that, because these are the kind of things that I was interested in.
Yeah.
And it just kind of got to the point with all the philosophy stuff where I was like you just get to a point. I think you just get to a point in philosophy where you're like, okay, everything is pointless. Yeah. Literally everything is pointless. but once you get, but for me at least, for me as an individual, once I got to that point, I was like, okay, well, if that's the case, if we are just insignificant speck of dust floating on an insignificant speck of dust in vast nothingness, and that's our reality, then at that point I get to choose what matters to me. I get to choose what makes me happy and what I enjoy. And for me, it was heavy metal. It was movies. It was art. It was art at the end of the day. And that's just what I leaned into at that point when I was like, okay, it's art, it's friends, it's family. And that's just what it is. And that's just kind of where I've gone since kind of having that sort of, I don't know if you can call it an epiphany or not, but that sort of realization. because yeah, it just lean into what makes you feel, and what makes you feel positive, not negative. And that's
Yeah.
that's that's what matters. Like that's because
Oh,
at the end of the day, that's all we got. Literally
yeah.
all we got.
Oh yeah, and it's like put it this way: when it comes to schizophrenia, all right, there's a lot of schizophrenics, I guess, that don't want to get treatment, and it's like I still support them for that too. You can't necessarily help someone that doesn't want to get the treatment. I mean,
Sure.
I'm there. I mean, I talk. I got quite like a couple of schizophrenic friends on Facebook, and it's like I'm cool with them. We talk a lot, and stuff like that, and some of them, like I said, I don't put names out there, of course, but some of them don't, they don't want the treatment. And it's like I'm still their friend. I'll still be there to talk to them because, especially when it comes to schizophrenia, you do not force it on them. It can end all of that. The best thing you can do with someone like that, you can just be their friend. Like that movie, The Soloist, okay, with Robert Downey Jr. and Jamie Foxx.
Love that
The
movie.
true story, the lesson he learned
Yeah.
was the best thing he could do is be his friend. And to the true story is to this day they're still good friends. And that guy actually plays all kinds of instruments now,
Yes.
piano, all kinds of shit. And
Yes.
it was just a heartwarming lesson from that movie that I really liked. Because at first he was trying to help him, like give him treatment. It was like hitting a brick wall every time he tried to get him treatment. But he just, like I said, in the movie, he just decided that just being his friend was the best thing he could do.
And that is 100% true. Like
Yeah.
it really, like, it's just, I mean, I can't tell you, like, I you know I can't tell you how many times that yeah, I've just needed a friend, and sometimes they've been there, sometimes not. And but
Yeah.
that is such, it's friends and family and whatever makes you feel something positive, whatever that thing may be, whether it be cooking, whether it be music, whether it
Sitting in
be
the shower.
art, whether yeah,
Yeah, sitting in the shower, man. It's like it helps. Go for it.
anything. Yes, because at the end of the day, it's just like we are our own last hope, and we are like just floating in darkness, and we are all
Yeah.
lost in the dark in a way. And
Yeah.
it's getting to it's getting and we get to nowadays, you're 31 years old, I'm 33. You remember uh uh days before there was a point in time in our lives where what we're doing right now was completely impossible.
Yeah.
Completely, this was NASA shit. Like this was not doable for people like us at a certain point in time. And now you and I are talking to each other, I don't even know how many, 24 hours away from each other. And I get to meet you, and I'd call you a friend, and experience your artwork. I mean, this is the kind of shit that it's special. It's special. And it needs to it's not, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just kind of it keeps me going in a big bad way. And I hope it does for you too. And you are
One sec.
oh yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I gotta go to the bathroom real quick. You can cut this part out, right?
Yep. Yes, I
All
can.
right, man. Yeah. All right, I'm back.
All
Sorry
right.
about that.
No, you're good. You're good. Um, no, but that's kind of a perfect place to go because yeah, I mean at the end of the day, like with everything, you know, and I cannot thank you enough for being like honestly not just your artwork, but like what you've how willing you have been to be open on this show.
Yeah.
Um that is something that I have been trying have been trying to get past and to do for a long time is to be more open about the things that I've experienced that are not in any way as extreme as yours, but
Yeah.
similar in terms of mental health and things like that. I've been trying to get more open about that stuff myself, publicly on the show, and you've definitely inspired and helped me to do that quite a bit in terms of the way I'm thinking about approaching it and things like that. So I can't thank you enough for being so willing to be so open and tell your story, because it's an amazing story and it's not done yet, and I am here for all of it, and you are I I'm you know, I'm happy to call you a friend now, and I genuinely hope we get to meet in person one day.
Oh, of
And
course.
definitely, and I really like literally, man, anytime there's a new chapter or anything else you want to tell with your story, and everything that you're going through, this is just as much as your Lost in the Dark is just as much your home as it is mine, as far as I'm concerned. You are welcome here anytime, my friend. And like it's you know, this is just as much your platform as it is mine and everybody else's that's been on the show. This is not the show isn't about me. This show isn't about this is about me getting people like you out there a little bit more, and just trying to help in any way I can. And that's all it is to me. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds good, man.
Yeah. All right. Well, I've certainly we've gone over about 35 minutes more than we wanted to, but we started like 15 minutes later, so I think we're still good. Uh but I will let you go. I'll let you get back to the rest of your night.
Awesome.
And again, Mitch, I can never thank you enough from the bottom of my heart. This means the world to me.
No worries on, man. No worries on.
Everybody check out the Grimm artist. All the links in the description below. And I'm sure you and I will talk again very, very soon. Of course. All right. We're gonna end the recording. Thank you all so much for watching. Everybody check out all of his artwork. It's spellbinding. So horns up, my friends. Hello, my friends. My name is Burton, and I am the host of the Michigan metal podcast, Lost in the Dark podcast. And I would like to introduce you to an all-new, all-paranormal podcast called Follow the Reaper, where I examine all true first or second-hand listener-submitted paranormal or unexplainable encounters of any kind. So if you or anyone you know has a story that they would like to share or have shared on the show, please reach out to us on social media or Gmail at Follow the Reaper Podcast. I would love to hear from you. And of course, please enjoy this episode of Lost in the Dark. And there it is. Another incredible fucking episode from Mitch. You know, and this is something I've said many times on this show, and it's something I said to him after we did the first episode. I was like, at the end of the day, when you're meeting someone for the first time halfway, you know, not quite halfway across the world, but from very far away, on Zoom, you know, which is what we do this on, you know, that first one can be a little touch and go. but it's always in the second one where things really get rolling. So I was really happy when Mitch wanted to come back on the show so quickly, because I was like, we'll really be able to get into it now. Now we know each other, we have rapport. Like, that's just kind of how it is. You meet someone for the first time on a screen, the second time is always better. And it's always a lot more fun. And he proved that tonight for sure. So that was absolutely an incredible episode. We will certainly be having a lot more coming very, very soon. Be sure to check out my other podcast, Follow the Reaper, where we tell listener submitted true first or second hand paranormal encounters. If you want to type it up and send it over, I'll narrate it. If not, if you want to send in an audio clip, I'll put it in, and we'll make more episodes of that. So if you or anyone has a true paranormal encounter or anything in their life that they would describe as paranormal that ever happened to them, send it on in. If you want to share it on the show, I'd be happy to do it and be in touch with you. So but besides that, Mitch, from the bottom of my heart, as always, you are my brother, and you are welcome back on this show anytime you want. As far as I'm concerned, just like everybody else, this is just as much your platform as it is mine. I'm just the conduit. I'm just the guy sitting here with the microphone and the camera. So it's you guys that are the stars by far. So thank you so much, Mitch. Love you to death. Can't wait to have you back on. Hopefully we cross paths in person someday soon. But that's going to do it for this episode, my friends. As always, we'll be back again very, very soon with much, much more. But until next time, raise your fucking horns, bang your goddamn heads, and check out all links in the description below to the Grimm artist himself, Mr. Mitch Radel. Love y'all to death. Horns up. Good night.
Lost in the dark.